guys, so it's the end of March, so that means that I'm doing my March wrap up today. Yes, that's right, I was going to say TBR. If you hear yelling in the background, again, it is my dad. My parents or my dad can never seem to be quiet when I'm filming, and this is the only time I can film. Thank God the sun is out today. It's going to be a very warm day today, but I like warm weather, so yay for me. Other than that though, let's get right into it. So this month I managed to finish off quite a number of books. I think I read all of my TBR books that I planned to read, and that made me so excited. I actually finished before the month even finished. So I read a couple more books than what I planned to, but I finished a total of 11 books, which sounds insane yet again, because I'm reading so much and I don't even know if I like reading this amount of books in a month. It certainly feels good, and it's certainly getting me closer to finishing off the books that I haven't read on my bookshelf, but also closer to my goal for the reading challenge. Very close actually. I think I only have 14 books left until I finish my reading challenge, which is insane. But enough of that. The first book that I finished off this month was The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and I absolutely loved this. It was this month's topic for the Yearathon read-along, so Twilight or anything to do with Stephanie Meyer. I think I've said this in my wrap-up for the Yearathon, but I gave this a 5 out of 5 because I thought it was exceptionally good. 10 times better than the Twilight series. I have no idea why the Twilight series is so popular and this isn't. But it's actually a series now, so the second book is coming out next year, and I'm definitely going to be checking that out. And then I read Eclipse for the Yearathon as well, read along, and this is probably my favourite out of the series, just because it's a lot more action-packed, and you sort of get to understand the characters a bit more, other than the fact that they love each other. So yeah. Moving on, and the third book that I finished was The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, which is the third book in the trilogy by J.R. Tolkien. I think it took me around 2 months or so to finish the entire series, because even though the size of it looks small, the font is tiny. It's ant-like, so it takes me ages to just finish a page even. I loved it. I think it was great. I've done my review on it, made a series review, so I'll leave a link to it down below for you guys, but it was exceptional. The world is amazing, and I would highly recommend it to all fantasy lovers. And then I ended up finishing all 4 new releases for last month. So I have A Mad Wicked Folly by Sharon Biggs-Waller, Pieces of Me by Amber Kaiser, The Glass Casket by McCormick Templeman, and Zarina by J. Neil Patrick. I have done a review for all 4 of them in a wrap-up, a mashup review, and I'll leave a link to it down below as well. I think for the majority of them I gave it a 4 out of 5. I think there was one that I only gave 3.5. I enjoyed all of them really well, and they were February new releases. So yeah, if you want to know more, then just check out the link below. I really want to keep this video short because I don't know if I want to film my TBR as well as the wrap-up only, but we shall see how long this video goes for. Next up though, I finished The Boleyn Inheritance by Philippa Gregory, and this is part of the sort of series that the other Boleyn girl is in as well, so it's called The Tudors or something like that, and it's a companion novel following Anne of Cleves, Jane Boleyn and Catherine Howard, and Anne of Cleves and Catherine Howard are both queens for a time, for a really short amount of time, wives of King Henry VIII before one is divorced and the other one is beheaded. And Jane Boleyn is the wife of George Boleyn, who is brother to Queen Anne Boleyn, and Jane was the one who sent them both to death with her testimony, something like that. So yeah, Philippa Gregory is one of my favourite authors. I love most of her writing, but this is probably the one that I least enjoyed. I just couldn't get into the characters. Catherine Howard was freaking annoying. I just used, okay, she was annoying, frustrating. Anna Cleves was boring. The only person that was interesting enough to follow was Jane Boleyn, and that was because she has a really twisted mind. I have written a review for this and I'll leave a link to it down below, but I only gave this a 3 out of 5. I was contemplating a 2.5 as well, but... And then I read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is a library book. I didn't bring a book to uni because I forgot it at home. So I decided to go to the library and borrow a book to read on the train home. I managed to finish it in the day, so I didn't even have a book to read when I was going on the train home. But I absolutely loved it. I can now understand why people love Patrick Ness. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. Oh my god, those moments. And when I was reading it, I think I was reading it before class started. I got to a really sad part, and one of my friends and the tutor was asking me, "Are you okay? Like, you look really sad." And I was like, "Yeah, this book is really sad." So if a book can bring out those emotions really well on my face, then you know, hands down, it is amazing. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The illustrations are beautiful as well. Not in terms of the fact that they're very, like, how do I say, like, artistic and stuff, but just the raw passion out of it. And I want to show you. So that's like how he drew the monster, if you can see that. Like, it just looks amazing. I haven't done a review for it yet. I think I will do a review for it in my next mashup review, but we shall see. And then I finished off Vicious by V. Schwab, and I know everybody has raved about this. It is all over BookTube. I got it when it was starting to get popular, which was last year, and I didn't start reading it until this month. I can see why it is so popular. I can see why people love it. The story about anti-heroes, you know, deciding whether who's good and who's not, and how do you justify that. It was very interesting. I loved Victor, but I felt like Eli was the more of an interesting character. So the story follows two best friends, Eli and Victor. They meet they meet at university, and they're very similar in terms of, you know, knowledge, personality, the competitiveness between them, and they sort of meddle in this scientific experiment, and it succeeds, which sounds good but ends up turning a bad way, and Victor goes to jail, and Eli becomes this hero sort of thing, and then Victor escapes from prison to track down Eli and try to get him killed. So you get this sort of interesting aspect as to why Victor wants to do that, you know, what happens between them, and it goes through a series of flashbacks. So you start in the present, go back 10 years time, then present and 10 years time, and it really helps to understand the character more, you know, character development, but also to build the intensity when they meet at the end. You get different headings, so like an hour before, yada yada, or 2 hours before, and it sort of builds intensity. And I found that I was really really excited to get to that moment where they could confront each other. I can see this be turned into a movie, because I think it would be great. I haven't done a review for it either. I've only wrote about it quite a bit on Goodreads, but I will definitely be reviewing this soon. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. And lastly, I finished Side Effects May Vary by Julie Murphy, and this is a new release for this month. I got it a couple of days back because a lot of people have been hauling it, so I figured, you know, why not? It is about a girl who has cancer, and she learns that she only has a couple of days or weeks or whatever to live, so she develops this bucket list with her friend Harvey, and her bucket list is not the average bucket list. It is about revenge and redemption. So she's out there to get the people that have screwed her over, and then she learns that she is going into remission and that she's going to live, so she has to deal with the consequences of that. Yet again, the description of it doesn't really fit the plot. Yes, it was about a bucket list, but you don't even really get to learn about it that much. You sort of just is told what she does, and then skips over to her and Harvey, and it's just her and Harvey's relationship. You do read through Harvey's point of view as well, and the only reason why I stuck out with this book is because of Harvey. I hated Alice. I didn't care if she had cancer. She was just a terrible person, and I could not like her at all. I don't know if that was done on purpose or we were supposed to have a sort of sympathy for her, but she was just a total bitch. I'm not even gonna lie, I hated her so much. This plot was okay, it was decent. I only gave this a 3 out of 5 because I just thought it was average. But that is it. I don't know how long I've spoken for. It tells me that I've spoken for 11 minutes, so I don't know if I should do my TBR now. If you have read any of the books that I've mentioned, then just tell me what you thought about them below, or tell me what your favourite book this month was. Other than that, I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye now.